It's a new fucking year.
Misfits on vinyl for me. Fuck John Cougar! No, it can't.
Alright, hello and welcome to Misfits on Vinyl. My name is Spencer Streichert. I'm an actor, comedian, and one of your tits.
My name is Aaron. I am also one of your... Ow, fucking chew my toes. I'm also one of your hosts, or tits.
Or tits.
We are live from CAC's Podcast Bar.
CAC's Podcast Bar and Studio.
Yes.
We also... No, I'm not gonna...
Your cat is biting my toes.
Yeah, my cat's just killing the shit out of you right now.
Hey, I need those.
I feel like not as much as she needs them. All right. Well, it's a new year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you and all of our listeners. Man, my cat is really killing you.
Yeah, she is. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that she's not going to hurt you.
No, she's okay.
She's very, very feisty. She always gets feisty when we start recording.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why that is. I think she knows that, we're the number one English-speaking music history podcast in Chile.
Yes.
She wants to jump on that trend.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, Siobhan and I, gave our bunnies, voices.
Yes.
When we had them, right? So, they had, these high-pitched voices. And I don't know why, but we decided that she's an old Italian man.
Nice.
She's like...
We said Italian.
An Italian?
Italian.
One of those Italians.
Yeah.
You know, one of those Italian boys.
Yeah, well, Sarah saw this TikTok, and it was, telling you to check the skin color of your cat. That you know what color cat you have. So, my one cat is gray. I don't know what that means. And then the other one is little brown kitty.
Little brown kitty?
Yeah.
Little brown kitty cat.
Yep. So I'm 1/8 of the way to Brad and Angelina.
Dude, you just got a few more kids to adopt.
Yes.
Have a freak out on an airplane.
I need an Asian cat. I need an Asian cat in there. But soon enough.
If you do achieve your goal of having cats of all different, cultures and colors, are you going to also get drunk on an airplane and throw a hissy fit?
No, I don't know what you're referencing, actually.
Oh, that's a Brad Pitt thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, at the start of the divorce, he got drunk on an airplane and was screaming at people and stuff.
That's some Ben
Allegedly.
Affleck. That's some Ben Affleck behavior right there. Yeah, that's something Ben Affleck would do.
Yeah, I don't know why Brad did it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Brad Pitt, I finally watched True Romance.
Yeah, good movie.
Great fucking movie.
Yeah, he's barely in it.
He's barely in it, but everyone is barely.
Was that
in
on my
movie.
recommendation?
It was actually on Renalta Arluck's recommendation.
Nice, because I watched it not that long ago for the first time as well.
Yeah,
that's a really solid movie.
It's a solid movie. The one thing I will say about that movie is the soundtrack is. The soundtrack itself is good, but the composition and score is ass.
Well, there's just the one song plays all the time.
Yeah,
anytime forget their names, but anytime Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette are together, there's the one beachy song that always plays in the background.
Doesn't fit any of the vibes in any of the fucking scenes of the movie.
Well, they're just on a billboard in Detroit, and it's dude, it's got a nice little reggae beat in the background.
Yeah, doesn't really fit it.
You could tell it was written by Quentin Tarantino, but definitely not directed by Quentin Tarantino.
I do think that Gary Oldman, my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Playing a fucking Rastafarian white guy.
Yeah, drug dealer, and then a young James Gandolfini.
Yeah. Also Christopher Walken.
Yep.
That's the second movie I've seen him in where he wasn't playing a joke of himself.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good.
Only been 2 of those that I've seen.
No, it's good. It's a good
that
movie.
And Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
Deer Hunter is a great movie.
That's a good movie too.
It's a great movie. I don't watch that movie very often.
No, that's so we were talking before the podcast. Believe it or not, we've been sitting in these chairs for over an hour.
We have. It turns out technical difficulties are a thing that happens frequently for me.
Yeah, Spencer was like an old man learning how to send an email. It was a painful hour.
It fucking sucked.
I was watching 5-minute craft videos with the sound off.
I'm not gonna lie, the entire time I kind of felt like the failure that I imagine my dad thinks I am. I was really starting to go through that and go, No, it checks out.
Yeah,
No,
fair
Dad's
enough.
right about that.
Fair enough. But I saw like your internal pressure. Like this is like when you're stressed out. I love this about you. Is like you stress yourself out way more than any, like no one here, me nor Siobhan or your cat were putting pressure on you. You're like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, well, there's nothing to be sorry for, man. It's I'm sitting here drinking coffee and looking at my phone.
In all fairness, you were not drinking coffee. I didn't even offer you a coffee when you first got here. So for an hour, you just sat there with nothing but a Zin in.
Yeah, but it's good temperature now. It wasn't too hot.
Did you hear? There's a crazy theory.
Yes.
That Zins are sponsoring all of these podcasters to promote them. And that's why, like, every podcast is talking about Zins now.
Interesting. Well, we're not sponsored by Zins.
We're not sponsored by fucking anyone.
Yeah, what we actually have on our lips right now is Grant.
Oh.
Yeah, but I've recently...
It's not the first time I've had Grant in my lips.
Ooh, who's Grant? Anyways.
He'll fucking tell you.
There's going to be another tabloid story about Hugh Grant coming out here shortly,
Dude,
early 2000s.
I have to say, I love the tabloid shit about Hugh Grant.
Yeah, I just don't I don't quite understand why Hugh Grant had to hire a prostitute.
I don't know.
Hugh fucking Grant. He was at like his peak powers back
He was,
then.
and that was pre Bridget Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That was like right before Bridget Jones.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like if you said like somebody like like Meatloaf or something, I'd be like, yeah, it checks out. But like,
if you even said Colin Firth, I'd understand more. Like honestly, like Siobhan and I rewatched Bridget Jones, and I was like. I get it with Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
I don't get it with Colin Firth.
No, you don't get the Colin Firth thing.
He just seems like such a fucking don't get me wrong, Hugh Grant is punchable in every movie.
Yeah.
But Colin Firth seems punchable for a different reason. I'm like I just want to be like, fuck, you suck. You're just so lame and boring.
Apparently, he's extra punchable in the new Wonka. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Hugh Grant plays the.
Yeah, it does. He plays
the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently,
Stealing
he's extra.
dwarf jobs.
He's extra. Yeah, I know. Peter Dinklage was punching the air.
Yeah.
He's just tall enough to reach the air, actually. So he's like, yeah, he's punching the air. Anywho.
Dude, you know the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
No.
Okay, so there's a theory that like everyone's like 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, okay.
Like you could find like this person knows this person knows this person.
Yeah.
And so like you can basically link up every single movie star to Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
Or somebody in the industry in some way, right?
Yeah.
I realized how fucking few degrees away I am from Kevin Bacon on like multiple different levels, which is weird. Because, no, I can't.
Go on.
No.
Go on.
No.
Go on. I don't know where you're going with this.
No, I don't know where I'm going with this either.
That's okay. Well,
I
if you're
gave up
close
halfway
to...
I gave up halfway through. I was like, I had a thought, and then it just...
that's okay.
First podcast back, folks. This is what you're getting.
Yeah, no, speaking of movies, I've seen some good movies lately. You were talking about movies you'd only watch, maybe once, like The Deer Hunter.
Yep.
Saw The Iron Claw.
Ooh.
I really liked it. I'd probably watched that one more than once, but I've been trying to convince Sarah to watch this other movie. It's a very, very sad movie.
Ooh.
Came out in 2016.
2016.
I love this movie. I've only watched it the one time.
Manchester by the Sea?
Yes, that's the movie.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Dude, okay. That is wild that I guessed that.
Yeah, that's the movie. Apparently that is like the movie you only really want to watch once in your life. It's extremely sad. Very, very great, like fantastic acting, great direction. But I'm trying to convince Sarah to watch it. I want her to cry with me on the couch. I watched that with my dad, I think, when it came out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did your dad shed a tear?
I think so. I was like, trying to not, but I definitely did.
Do you find it weird when you see your dad cry?
Yes.
Because I've seen it happen a couple of times, and each time it has made me think less of him.
I really haven't seen my dad cry very much. Yeah, like I don't even think he cried during that movie. I don't think I've seen my dad cry. Maybe once.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe one time. Yeah.
Man, I've seen it happen a couple of times.
Yeah.
Seen him shed a few tears.
Yeah, it's like anytime you come around, he's like, oh, fuck.
He's like, oh, fuck. Not again. I should have pulled out.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Anyways, yeah. So I'm trying to convince her to watch that super sad movie. So we'll see how that goes. She told me next weekend we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna hold her to it.
You gonna watch Manchester by the Sea?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again.
Gonna get the last Casey Affleck movie.
Yeah. Because he got canceled shortly after that.
Yeah, he got Me Too'd.
Yeah.
Like right before that.
Right before that, he still won.
He still won the Oscar.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, Hollywood doesn't care.
No, that's true.
They don't care.
That's true.
They're happy about stuff like that, dude. They're like, oh yeah, we can hold you accountable to that.
Yeah.
Now do this movie at scale.
Here's a trophy.
Here's a trophy.
Yeah, you want to slap Chris Rock? Here's a trophy.
Yeah, that is insane that he is actually was just allowed to stay.
Yeah.
At the center. Did you watch? Did you see anything about the Golden Globes last night?
I did not. I saw who won. I'm glad. I saw Kieran Culkin tell Pedro Pascal to suck it.
Wait, what?
Did you not see that?
No.
No, when he won Best Actor in a Drama Series, he was like, "Suck it, Pedro." Yeah, and Pedro Pascal was laughing really hard.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
Yeah. I'm happy of the rise of the Culkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Macaulay Culkin recently got his due. He got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
And Canadian royalty Catherine O'Hara was there with him.
Yes. I'm happy to see Kieran Culkin, being very successful in Succession.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great show. So it's cool to see that happen because I don't know if you've ever done a deep dive into the Culkins.
I have.
Yeah, but super depressing. Their
Very,
dad was
very
a
sad.
huge asshole. And
Yeah, and he was like a failed actor, so
Yeah.
he like forced his kids into show business.
Yeah, and like exploited the shit out of Macaulay. Yeah, so.
Which ironically, we're talking about a child star today, so that's pretty
interesting enough.
Interesting enough. I do want to say this about the Golden Globes. So first off, Joe Coy fucking bombed in his monologue, and then he started blaming the writers when jokes wouldn't land.
Nice.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's the fucking move.
Sounds right. You just get back to work and then you start eating shit.
Then you just start eating shit.
Yep, sounds about right.
From a fucking like C-list celebrity.
Yeah. Was he hosting?
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, I don't know.
Why?
You want to hear the most insane thing? He won a Gemini Award in Canada for best televised stand-up thing, beating out Canadians in like 2008.
That's weird.
It's very weird.
That's like when Anne Hathaway and James Franco host the Oscars.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really add up.
It was funny though because Ian Sirota, who's a Canadian comic, he posted a screenshot of like the Gemini Award list from 2008, and he was nominated, and so was John Doerr. Fucking Joe Coy, an American, wins the Gemini Award.
Sounds about right.
Dude, speaking of the Golden Globes, though, one thing I wanted to say that I thought was a massive bummer. Fargo shut the fuck out.
Yeah.
Shut out of everything.
Yeah, I seen that, and I seen...
Be fucking swept.
Barbie also got a little bit... shut down as well by Sloppenheimer.
Yeah. Which is wild to me because who the fuck could watch that movie enough to like really critique it, you know?
Well, I mean, I didn't mind Barbie. I really did like Oppenheimer, so I get why it won a bunch. I thought Cillian Murphy was unbelievable in that movie.
His name is just so funny though, dude. I don't know.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, I liked that, and I'm glad Robert Downey Jr.
I bet he's not an Italian.
I'm glad Robert Downey Jr. won.
The Irishman.
Yep. Yes.
I was actually really glad that Lily Gladstone won too. Mm-hmm. That was really impressive.
It seemed like they got most of the awards correct. Oh, I watched The Holdovers 2 over Christmas break. That was a solid movie. Paul Giamatti won.
Ooh.
For that movie.
Paul Giamatti's such a fucking interesting cat, dude.
They called it a comedy. I wouldn't say it was like a coming of age story, but I wouldn't quite say it was a comedy.
Dude, they called The Martian a comedy.
It's true. I wouldn't quite say it was a comedy, but it was a really solid movie, Christmassy movie. I don't know if you know about that movie, but basically it's like the 70s, early 70s in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
and he's a teacher at a boarding school, kind of a alcoholic, and he's a loner like the teacher is. Paul Giamatti doesn't have any family or nothing.
But is he fucking wicked smart?
Yeah, he is wicked smart.
He's fucking wicked departed.
So what happens is he goes to MIT. And he solves a problem, and on the board, and then
the ghost of Robin Williams.
The ghost of Robin Williams comes out, and what's his name? Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean come, and they try to give this kid from Southie an opportunity, and then Ben Affleck gives a good speech. That's the movie. He falls in love with Minnie Driver, and
Sounds like a fucking solid movie.
And Elliott Smith comes out from the death. The ghost of Elliott Smith comes out as well and plays. It's really great. Anyway, that's not what happens. He's anyways at this boarding school, and there's kids that don't get to go home for Christmas. So he watches 5 or 6 of these kids, and then 5 of them fuck off because the one guy's dad comes back and is like, I'm going to take you all skiing. Except they couldn't get a hold of this one kid's parents. So he ends up hanging out with Paul Giamatti, and that's the movie.
That seems like a pretty goddamn good movie.
Yep. Yeah, no, I liked it.
It sounds like a part of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
When Scrooge can't go home.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you get to go home, Scrooge. And then he goes, I get to go home. And then he's like, that was the last time I got to see my family at Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that.
But I had a good break. Just did a lot of things. Spent time with family and ate some food and consumed some alcoholic beverages and went skating a couple times.
Nice. I went to go skating the other day and the rink was closed.
Oh, sad.
That was a fucking bummer.
Yeah, sad.
Talk about the worst part was that I was when I was walking down the street, I ran into somebody that I know that was visiting.
Yeah.
For the holidays. And they were like, it was fairly nice out. It was -2 or something. So they were trying to have a conversation. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go before the sun sets. I want to go to the skating rink. And then I get there and they're signs everywhere that they're it's closed. I'm like, do I just put my skates on and fucking
just go for it? Yeah, just go for it.
What's the worst that can happen, really?
Is this at Olympic Plaza?
No, it's just down the street
nice.
at where the Bean is.
Nice.
That weird art installation.
Yes.
That looks like the Chicago Bean was made with paper mache.
Yes.
It's that.
Calgary art's described to a T.
Dude, 100%.
It's one thing I like about there's that one statue over by Cax. It's a famous statue here in Calgary, and it's half of it is there. That kind of describes the Calgary art scene.
We're talking about the fucking German, what's it called? Not sculptor. It's sort of sculptor. I mean, whatever. He put those fucking pieces of rhubarb together with broken pieces of concrete near COP, and he's like, it's to symbolize indigenous people. I'm like, why did they hire a German dude?
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing like Canada to outsource somebody to describe the indigenous experience.
Yeah, we live in kind of a joke of a city in the best way possible.
So, at some points, yeah.
At some points, it's super fucking funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so every episode on Misfits on Vinyl, we review an album. Sometimes it's one of our favorites. Sometimes it's a popular one. Sometimes it crosses over. This one's a popular one.
Yes, and it's someone from Calgary.
It's someone from Calgary. So this album is Tate McRae's newest release, Think Later. This album was released on December 8th of 2023 through RCA Records. It is a trap pop / alt R&B record. It's got a runtime of 38 minutes and 16 seconds. I personally feel like it could have been a little bit shorter. It was produced by Ryan Tedder, who is the frontman of One Republic, who is a pop hit maker. He's been nominated for 11 Grammys, including Grammys for Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis. Leona Lewis. Keep bleeding love. And Halo by Beyonce.
Nice.
Also won for Best Albums with 21 and 25 for Adele and 1989 for Taylor Swift. Man's gotta just do numbered fucking
he's
records.
He reminds me a lot of he's similar sort of vein of Jack Antonoff, who was in Fun, who's in I forget the name of the other band he's in. I sent you their song ages ago.
Fuck.
Anyways, Bleachers. He's in Bleachers. Anyways, he's written for all sorts of similar sort of vibe. He was in a successful band, but also is just a really good pop songwriter.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing.
I do find it funny that he's only won Grammys with albums that had numbers for titles.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to just start like a fucking a numbered company.
That is funny. That is funny. And he said, weirdly, he works a lot with Timbaland.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, too, because the biggest...
Not Justin Timberlake?
No, Timbaland.
When I made that fuck up in the Brett Cassidy episode?
Yes.
God, what an asshole.
But this album specifically, this Tate McRae album, the biggest track... they were trying to make a Timbaland beat on Greedy.
Really?
So that was part of the inspiration. I sourced that from a YouTube video I watched.
Nice.
So I can't specifically say which one. I don't remember.
We'll go with that.
I remember her saying that. So
if you are that YouTube video, fucking tell us.
Yes.
If not, shut up. It is also produced by Grant Booten, who has worked with the Jonas Brothers and One Republic, Jasper Harris, who's worked with Jack Harlow, Playboi Carti, Juice WRLD, Thomas LaRosa, who did Ari Abdul's albums, and Tyler Spray, who's worked with U2 and Portugal the Man.
Nice. That's an eclectic group of producers.
That is a very eclectic group of producers. Mastering was done by Dave Kutch, who's been nominated for 14 Grammys and has worked with The Weeknd, Zac Brown Band, A$AP Rocky, Katy Perry, and Ozzy Osbourne.
That's also an eclectic group.
That's a very eclectic group.
Yeah.
Grave and Calgary were co-written with Ido Zimelani.
Nice.
Zimishelani.
Nice.
Zimishelani.
Miscellaneous.
Ido Zimishelani, who has written tracks for the All-American Rejects, Sabrina Carpenter, and Justin Bieber.
Nice.
Friend of the podcast, Justin Bieber.
Yep.
Bass, drums, and guitar and synth were done by Rob Beisel, who is an American producer, engineer, mixer, and songwriter. He's a 13-time Grammy nominee. Has worked with Doja Cat, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, Harry Styles, and he was a PA on Life of Pablo, which I thought would be a fun little fact for you.
That's cool. Yeah.
And he was also an assistant engineer on the Stars Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper soundtrack.
Nice.
And Greg Custain did the bass drums.
So many names.
On Plastic Palm Trees. He's won 3 Grammys, including Producer of the Year in 2017 and 2018. And in 2012, he earned his first #1 song in the U.S. and two Grammy nominations for Kelly Clarkson's Stronger.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Very proud of him.
Pretty impressive for this album in terms of like...
This is definitely a stereotypical mainstream pop album that, it's produced by 15 different people.
And a major label is behind it, so it's impossible for it to fail.
Yes.
It's going to go to the top of the charts.
Yes.
It basically is just like, what is the algorithm?
Yes.
Let's feed it in.
But I do think, she's bringing up an interesting conversation, especially a lot of people are comparing her to early Britney Spears, the style of music, the performance aspect to her shows. Mm-hmm. So I think she's bringing something a little bit different to what everybody else has been doing for the past 10 years, right?
I definitely agree. I do think, though, okay, we're going to get into it later when we review the album, but I do think, though, it's going to be interesting seeing where this lines up in her discography. Yes. Because it feels like her first album and her EPs were like a very distinct tone, and this seems like it's a sidestep, not an evolution. Is what this whole album felt like. A little branch out. But not doing anything that's going to buck the system, make it too different. But it's definitely a mainstream coming to the party sort of album. And especially here I am gonna be a big player in the scene for the next whatever amount of time. This is kicking the door open with Big Dick Energy and just being like, what up? I'm here now. Yeah. And I totally get that for a sophomore album, especially considering like I felt like a lot of the tracks on her debut album were better. Mm-hmm. I used to think I Could Fly. I thought that was a better album, but my God, Jesus Christ, the album art on that fucking sucked. Mm-hmm. I have to just I know we're not reviewing that album, but dude, that is one of the worst album covers I've ever seen. It's fucking bad. Yeah. It's like her standing on like an airplane wing in like a weird, looks like plastic dress and like flying above houses, and there's like fire on the airplane wing and stuff, but like the houses all look like Monopoly houses. Nice. It looks like something that I would have done in grade 12 in Photoshop. It's pretty fucking bad, dude. Fair. All right, so let's get into About Tate McRae. Also, fun fact about Tate McRae, we have a connection.
Yeah, you and her certainly do.
Yeah, we were on the same list of breakout stars of 2020 by the Calgary Herald.
And your careers have paralleled
Our
each other.
careers have absolutely paralleled.
Yeah.
There's no difference between Tate McRae's trajectory and mine.
No.
I also am #1 on the charts.
She doesn't have a podcast.
She does not have a podcast.
Yeah.
I got her beaten that.
Yeah.
She has released like 3 albums in that time.
Yeah, and got very, very, very famous.
Got very famous.
But
hosted SNL.
yeah. But you know, she
First Canadian to be on SNL in probably 20 years.
yeah. But you know, you can pay your rent now, so that's a plus.
Yeah. Woo!
How things have evolved.
Oh, things how they've evolved. It is kind of funny looking at that list though, because it's like, dude, like I think that I was just like a. I really believe that I was just a let's make this person feel good add on that list. I don't think that I was really at the same level as Tate McRae and Praneet Akilla.
No.
You know? I think that maybe the star of several CW shows is very different than me.
Yeah, possibly, but they never played Cowboy Number 2.
That's true, Cowboy Number 2.
And they don't have a podcast with me, so
That's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, you make up for everything, Aaron. You're the best.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Anyways,
Tate
anywho,
McRae was born. Where
in
is this?
2003 in Calgary, Alberta.
Yes, in 2003 in Calgary, Alberta, on July 1st.
Nice.
I just have to make sure
On
that this
Canada Day.
gets out of my way. Jesus Christ, this is really pissing me off. I'm sorry.
On Canada Day. That's cool.
Yeah, on Canada Day. That is pretty cool. Okay, there we go. I figured it out. I'm not completely stupid. Computers are hard, folks.
That's a fun fact. You know who also was born on Canada Day? Canada.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it was here before.
Yeah, but you know, the Confederation came together on Canada Day.
That's true. It was around for quite some time though.
Yeah.
Pre-Europeans, it was here for a while.
No.
You know, there was actually several countries that could be considered in that time.
Yeah.
Pre-Canada.
Yeah.
Or as a lot of people say, KK Canada.
Never heard anybody say that.
Oh, dude, that's a big tweet thing. Okay, so
Interesting.
Tate McRae was born Canada Day,
Yes.
Calgary, Alberta, in 2003, which is sad that she's 20 years old because that makes me feel very old.
Yeah.
Because in 2003, I have a lot of memories from that year.
I was 5.
I was 8.
Yeah.
I moved multiple times in that year.
Did you?
I was moving around a lot.
I was also moving with my feet. At that point in time, I was walking. She
walking?
wasn't.
That's true. She was not.
I was forming sentences. I was starting kindergarten.
But at the age of 4, due to her father's work, she moved with her family to Oman.
Nice.
And her mother taught dance lessons there, and she lived there for 3 years. I bet he works in oil and gas.
Yes, I was gonna say, you okay?
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine.
Just a little indigestion.
Just a little indigestion.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Can't comment on Oman. Never been there.
I also have never been there.
I think they're oil rich.
They are oil rich.
But we're mentioning them, so we're gonna climb the charts.
We are gonna climb the charts there.
But it's not as great as Saudi Arabia.
That's true.
Yeah, facts.
Shout out to you know what? I hope that one of our Saudi listeners is actually like really rich and asks us to come over and perform.
Yeah, you could just like throw us a bone and we can buy some new mics.
That would also be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Any Saudis out there just
don't be greedy. That shit won't end well.
Just donate us some microphones, please. Okay, so McRae began recreational dancing at the age of 6, having returned to Calgary at the age of 8. She began to train more intensely in dance and competed with Drewitz Dance Productions. From age 11, she began training in all styles of dance at YYC Dance Project, a dance company owned by her mother, and underwent ballet training at the School of Alberta Ballet.
Nice.
The training school for the Alberta Ballet Company.
Pardon Probably could have put that together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a part of the Wikipedia. I didn't want to misquote it or source.
There you go.
Okay, so fun fact that I heard, and this is one of those things going through the sources, is that her mom was like from a young age a stage mom. Like super fucking stage mom, which totally fucking makes sense. Like her brother's also like a hockey player and like the
I think he plays at Dartmouth.
Yeah, so like it makes sense that like they had a parent that was just fucking
one of those
like all right, you're gonna achieve my dreams.
Yes,
go out and do it. All right, so McRae served as a voice actress for the Lala Loopsy franchise, voicing the part of Spot Splatter Splash from the show's inception in 2013 until its conclusion in 2015. So, also worked at Chinook Studios. I'm guessing Blue Water Studios, the Chinook animation. McRae was awarded mini Best Female Dancer at the 2013 Dance Awards in New York City. And then in 2015, she was awarded a 2-week scholarship at the Berlin State Ballet Company after winning the silver medal as a soloist and the bronze medal for her duet at the 2015 Youth American Grand Prix.
So she's in some major competitions there as a teenager.
Major competitions, and she's fucking sweeping them too.
Good for her.
For the second time in 2015, she was awarded Best Female Dancer at the 2015 Dance Awards, this time in the junior category. In June 2016, she performed at friend of the show Justin Bieber's concert in Calgary for the Purpose World Tour during his performance of Children. In April 2016, she performed on the Ellen DeGeneres Show as a part of the Dancer Palooza troupe. And then in June 2016, she took part in the 13th season of the American television series So You Think You Can Dance, which she ended up in 3rd place at, which was the highest placing for a Canadian on the show. Now, the craziest part about that is this quote from TV host Mertz Jaffer from the Toronto Sun. He said, "The fact that Canadians couldn't vote for Tate makes her 3rd place finish all the more impressive. While she might have been voted America's favorite dancer, she certainly might be Canada's." After that, she went and performed on Ellen again, and with the So You Think You Can Dance cast, also performed on the Teen Choice Awards.
Nice, that's cool.
So a lot of dancing stuff over that time. So then going back, though, in 2011, she created a YouTube channel that mainly featured dance videos, but in 2017, she started Create with Tate, a video series focusing on showcasing original songs she wrote and recorded in her bedroom. Her first upload of the series was the song One Day, which she wrote at the age of 14. It attracted over 40 million views, prompting her to self-release the song, and it has since been certified gold in Canada, and it was the first certification of her career.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. Which, that's fucking insane. At 14 to write...
that is very impressive.
That is impressive. From 2017 to 2019, she continued to do the series. Notable songs included Dear Ex-Boyfriend, which has over 50 million views, and Dear Parents, which with over 20 million views. What's with the deer? What's with the fucking telling people things? You don't have to make a song about it. I'm just saying. You can just fucking talk to them, dude. All right. Then her upload of One Day caught the attention of 11 record labels. She eventually signed with RCA Records. Fuck me.
All of them caught on at the same time.
All of them caught on at the same time. They're all just like, yeah, we really need this kid.
All the record labels in the group chat, someone dropped the vid, and they're like, all right, it's about time. 120 million views later, it's about time.
Dude, and you just know that Sony was just like thumbs down for no reason. Just in the group chat, just like fucking fucking Jesus Christ. Capitol Records has entered the chat.
Yeah.
After her signing, she announced her debut, All the Things I Never Said. In December of 2019, she released the 5-track EP on January 24th, 2020, and announced that she would be doing a headlining tour of Europe and North America. Each stop on the tour was sold out. This is before she's like really fucking like blown up. That's fucking crazy. The tour received a 4 out of 5 star from Rosen O'Connor of The Independent, who described McRae as an impressive performer. The lead single, Tear Myself Apart, was co-written by Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell. Which is crazy because, early part of her career, she just kept being compared to Billie Eilish.
Yes.
the EP's final single, Stupid, charted in Ireland and Canada. And then That Way, which was a track from the EP, experienced a resurgence in 2021 after going viral on TikTok and charted in the UK and Ireland. In April of 2020, she released the single You Broke Me First as the lead single for her second EP titled Too Young to Be Sad. The song was an international success, and it was peaking within the top 10 of charts in several countries, becoming her first single to chart on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, that's the first time I came across her. That was probably for most people.
Yeah, that
song was pretty big.
That was same, and it was like, it was within a week of it coming out.
Yeah.
Like, because, I don't know, it popped up on my YouTube recommended, the video, and I was like, I just noticed that it was the Calgary skyline in the thumbnail, so I was like, oh shit, I'll check this out. Kind of expecting it to be like, okay, we've talked before about how good the Calgary music scene is, but it's good in like the singer-songwriter circles, and the bands, and like the country artists, you know, like those artists, fucking sure. But then there's also a very distinct subgenre that's like the rappers of Calgary.
Well, there's
the pop artists of Calgary, and it's a pretty steady decline once you go out of
on the eye opener on CBC. They feature like a local artist. They featured the Sunstrokes not that long ago, stuff like that, and like I'd say about 50% of them do not hit. So that's probably. I would probably expect
50% of them make me understand why people want to defund the CBC. Like, I'm just like,
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, dude, I would.
But yeah, there's definitely a divide in the scene.
But I would say that when I first heard this song, I was like, oh shit, real pop music is getting made here.
It's a nice song.
Like
yeah. I find her voice unique too. That one was not as much, but there's the other one she's got. All I Want to Be So Bad. That one, her voice is very unique in that one.
She's all I want to be so bad. Yeah. No, it's it like, again, the Billie Eilish comparison can come in a little bit in her vocals when she's doing the like sad teenager songs that are slower, but then when she does have those like more upbeat songs, I don't know where the comparison really is. Like, I mean, granted, I'm also not a huge pop music listener, so that doesn't help either.
But there's been certainly a new changing of the guard when it comes to female pop stars in the past, I'd say 5 years. You got Billie Eilish, you got Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, you have Tate McRae. There's certainly been a new influx of the female pop vocalist. And I
will say, I like the direction that all of the artists you've mentioned are kind of going, where they're incorporating other genres.
Well, they're all doing something a little bit different. Like Olivia Rodrigo does a lot of like pop stuff, but she does a little bit of rocky pop music, and Billie Eilish is just a killer. She's got a great voice, and she makes really interesting pop music, something a little bit different. And then Tate McRae and Sabrina Carpenter are kind of doing the mainstream radio friendly stuff, and it's cool. It's definitely been a big changing of the guard, I'd say. In the past 5 years or so, even the past 3 years.
I would
be
say
more specific.
I think that honestly, it's been like pandemic has changed.
Yeah, I stretch 5 because of Billie Eilish, but probably the past 3.
But I would say she was really she was cusping probably for 5 before she fucking blew up.
Yeah, but it's cool to see that happening. I mean, that's even like, I know this album specifically was like TikTok focused. But that's a lot of the ways people have to go nowadays to...
Which is totally fair, especially from, like, if you're looking from a record executive standpoint. Mm-hmm. Like, how am I going to actually get the most sales out of this?
Yeah. Well, it's also cool that they're doing it more than once, too, because there was a couple TikTok songs that had Canadian artists that were, like, single hits. That one, Stunning. I'm a pretty boy, I'm stunning. That guy's Canadian. Right. That was a singular hit, right?
I forgot about that song.
Yeah, even. And then even, like, I like I don't mind Baby No Money, but he was also kind of a singular TikTok hit sort of guy as well.
Yeah, I remember when he came through town, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I fucking gotta go see it." I'm like, dude, one song.
Yeah.
Ediname.
The one with Rich Brian.
Yeah. Which also funny that his lyric is I'm gonna pop you like a pea.
Yeah.
Edamame.
Yeah.
Which is not a pea. It's a bean.
Yeah, close enough.
Fucking
close enough.
Fucking idiot.
It's close
What a
enough.
dumb fuck.
I mean, Little Yachty once said, "You blow me like a cello." So there's anyways, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no, it's cool to see that that she's sticking around. Especially, I don't know, like we have Canadian artists, not so much musically, but in the film and acting, there's a lot of famous Canadians, but it's nice to see another Canadian on top in the music scene. Yeah. We've had a couple, and over history, there's been lots in the rock scene.
And I'm really happy to share that spotlight right now. Let me tell you.
There's been a few in the pop scene, in the country scene, but it's cool to have one breaking out right now.
It is also really cool to see
from Calgary
happening, and from Calgary, but like to see it happening in real time. That was something that I will say over the last few years has been pretty fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I saw the video for You Broke Me First, I was like, this is really good. I hope this person has more than one fucking hit. And then
that song's got like a billion freaking streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also crazy that a couple of years later, I'm like, oh, that's not even her biggest song.
No.
That's fucking the fuck? Okay, so notable tracks and singles.
Yes.
Greedy, which is her biggest hit of all time.
Yeah, that song blew up.
Yeah, 426 million streams on Spotify alone. It was #1 in several countries, including Canada. Certified gold in the UK. Platinum in Greece for streaming. And, massive fucking hit.
Yep.
That song, for the past 6 months, you can't go anywhere without hearing it.
No, that song blew up pretty quickly.
Grave, which was another single from the album, which she did on Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Gesundheit?
No, I coughed. It's Robitussin.
Richu?
Robitussin.
Richu?
Yes.
Okay. Calgary, which is a song about coming home and feeling like a teen again. I pointed this out in the group chat last night. Why is every fucking song about Calgary so sad? Every song titled Calgary just sounds sad.
Yeah, well, I can only really think of the Bon Iver one.
I know, but that's just it. There's 2 songs about this city.
But everything he puts out is sad.
Well, yeah.
So
everything she puts out is bordering on sad too.
Yeah.
There's a hint of sad in there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's just like I was just like, why can't we have a happy song?
It's true.
I don't know.
Going down to the Peace Bridge.
Gonna smoke a joint on the island with my friends, then toss a frisbee.
Toss a frisbee at the Peace Bridge.
Gonna walk downtown.
Ignore the homeless man tents. Calgary.
Go to Stephen Ave.
The trains are always late. Calgary. The city's pretty great.
Our transit system's ass. It's -40 or it's +40.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Woo! Calgary. Go to the Stampede and complain about it.
Calgary. That's a hit.
Listening to CJ92, Calgary.
Watching the Flames lose, Calgary. That's getting sad, dude. It makes sense. It's starting to get sad. Yeah,
everything that we mentioned was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. Yeah, it's starting to make sense.
Okay, another song on the album, notable song, "Stay Done," which I felt was kind of interesting because this dreamy guitar in that sounds very similar to stuff that would have been in the late 90s in a 90210 transitioning scene, or Heavens to Betsy sort of song. It sounds sort of in that that
like
realm.
We mentioned, she's kind of channeling the early 2000s. I mean, you can probably branch that to the late 90s pop music sort of. That seems to be a major inspiration.
Which, from her generation, those kids would call that retro, which fucking hurts.
Yeah, when the 2000s are coming back.
Yeah. Dude, I hate that.
Jeans
I hate that so much.
Yeah, it's all coming back.
I'm not going to lie, it's very, very painful to see that happening.
Yeah, well, imagine, it was the 90s not that long ago. Everyone was dressing like they're from the 90s. So wait till we get to the 2010s and people start wearing mustache-themed stuff and chunky necklaces.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's going to... Yeah, and galaxy leggings are going to come back.
I'm glad that my style just doesn't change.
Yeah.
Like, I have a pretty good style.
You wear lots of different stuff.
I wear lots of different stuff.
Yeah.
I match the vibe.
I just, mostly wear cords and hoodies.
I won't lie, the vibe is mostly my own, but still.
Yeah, you match the vibe.
I dance to the beat of my own drum, Aaron.
Fair enough.
All right, so last single to talk about, X's, which...
Okay, this is the one. This one's popular right now, but this song
it's such
sucks.
a fucking bad song.
Yeah,
dude.
this kisses from my exes who don't give a shit about me.
Change my mind up like it's origami. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, you could have said folded.
Yeah.
Folded would work with it. You don't really change origami.
Yeah, they don't. Origami is not sentient, so it can't really change its mind.
And also, like, you can't really change it once you fucking craft it into whatever it is.
Yeah.
You make a swan, you're not turning it into a tugboat after.
It's true.
Like, I don't know, that was just a really, really weird lyric.
Yeah, there's a couple lyrical things I've noticed. Like I mentioned to you as well. I was like, yeah, she always talks like his clothes is on the floor. That she says that multiple times in multiple different songs. Like, maybe get a hamper. Just throwing it out there, I mean, you have enough money now to probably hire somebody to pick up your clothes.
Yeah, honestly, dude.
Just being honest with you.
Dude, she's a 20-year-old living on her own in L.A. I feel like she probably has the money to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I was 20 years old living on my own, clothes on the floor kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Not because I was, getting laid. It was just I was a slob.
No, it was honestly just, it was mostly that.
But that's her metaphor for getting laid. Your clothes are on the floor.
Never gonna understand it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I sound like such an old man, dude. I fold my clothes before I have sex.
Can I get a fact check on that?
I'm like, I gotta hang it up. I don't want a crease in that.
No, I don't. But I aim for the hamper. I mean, that's step number one.
Yeah. Also fair.
Yeah, but that's just something I noticed.
Yeah, it's just a little pet peeve.
Yeah. But yeah, the origami thing is certainly one of those lyrics. Yeah.
It didn't really click with me. I was like, why is that the thing that you're changing? I don't know. It could be like, changing my mind up like it's the weather. I don't know. That would even make more sense. Wouldn't rhyme, but it would make more sense.
Changing my mind up like my clothes because my clothes are on the floor. That could, that would,
Changing my... Okay, so...
Anyways.
Reception of the album. It was number 4 on the Billboard 200, number 2 in Australia, 3 in Canada, 5 in the UK, and 3 in Norway. It's got a 70 out of 100 on Metacritic. Pitchfork gave it 5.9 out of 10. Enemy gave it 4 out of 5. The Guardian gave it 2 out of 5, and Alexis Petridis of The Guardian wrote, the lyrics stick with the bad boyfriends, bedroom, door slamming angst, and friendship group drama, and highlighted greedy, stay down, and hurt feelings, but commented that they are surrounded by a surfeit of songs that, while well-made, feature melodies that always head the way you'd expect, or try too hard. She concluded that McRae is fitting a lot of currently popular boxes without escaping them.
That's kind of similar to what we've talked about.
Yeah.
This is something, too, I want to know, too. This might be the first album we've done that's currently, like, still popular, still getting radio play.
Yeah.
Like, this might be the first album we've done that, like, recently has come out, that, it's been out for a month.
Honestly, yeah, I think this is the most recent one that we've done.
Yeah, well, not just like, just like in, quick succession from its release. So
yeah,
there's still a lot to play out legacy-wise and things like that. You mentioned earlier about in her overall discography as a career, what this one will be remembered as. I think that's, there's a lot to play out. Where a lot of artists we can talk about, oh, that was definitely their best album, or that one was, in the middle of their,
But this one, we can't really see that yet.
No, can't see it yet.
And, like, okay, before we get into the review, I had to write this down because this was kind of just, like, a summary of my thoughts that I felt like this will help me explain my ratings, too. Well, I appreciate some of the choices on this album, like the guitar and Stay Done that I just mentioned. I thought, I enjoyed the lyrics in Calgary. The build-up in Run for the Hills and the layering on that song I thought were really good. I find that too many of the songs carry the exact same tone. X's and Think Later, I felt like both of those songs did not need to be on the album.
Yep.
Pick one of them because they were very similar. And it's not really an evolution like you would think in the traditional sense. Like, I feel like it's more of a sidestep, which I mentioned earlier. I do feel that the album art on this was better than I used to think I could fly.
That's also,
and I don't even like the album art.
This one's a pet peeve for me. She does a lot of hockey themed outfits and stuff, and the Greedy music video is all hockey themed. But the pads are on backwards.
Yeah.
So that bothered me. And I saw this clip on, I don't know, it's Instagram or whatever, about this hockey podcast was talking about this album, and there's the song Messier, and they're like, is it Messier, like Mark Messier? So they emailed Tate McRae's PR team, and they're like, no, it's just Messier. They thought that she was like, lacing it with hockey references, but
oh, dude, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, she was dating a hockey player for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if they still are or not.
I don't think they are.
And her brother's a hockey player.
Yes.
But that was the thing about the album art that really bothered me too. Is I'm like, okay, first off, take away the goalie pads. It just seems like a very 2015 to 2017 album cover. Like that was like, very similar to a Selena Gomez cover, very similar to the Bieber cover at the time.
Yeah.
Very It's like the artist standing there, blank background. They're scantily clad.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, realistically, like, that's.
But she has on goalie pads.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand
and they're
why.
on backwards.
Also, I don't even. Was the dude that she was dating even a goalie?
No, I think he was a player for the Blue Jackets.
Fuck, man. So again, I'm like, why the goalie pads?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like you said, they're on backwards, which is also very odd.
Yeah.
As a former goalie, I can clarify that.
Well, it's just like, when you were playing street hockey as a kid, you always knew the fat part goes on the outside.
Yeah.
That's that's how you're meant to wear them.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's very, very minor nitpicky things.
I mean, we're going to get into the more picky things here with the rating.
Yes.
So every episode, we rate on a scale of 10, and we rate out of technical, musical, lyrical, album art, reception, and does it hold up? Technical.
I don't think we can give it a bad technical grade because she's working with the best of the best.
And
you listed off all the Grammys they've won and how successful they are as producers, and you got to be.
That's not to say that they can't make a dud, but this was definitely not a dud on a technical standpoint.
No, I mean, she's working with the best
mixed very
of the best.
well.
Yeah.
It's layered super fucking well. Like I said, in Run for the Hills, just the layering on that alone makes me go, okay, this is a high rating.
You can't go less than an 8. You might not like how it sounds or not be the biggest fan of the style or sounding similar. But, yeah, I mean, technically it's executed like she's working with 15 Grammy Award winning producers. It's a strong. You got to go at least an 8, 8.5 on it.
And yeah, I would probably I'd meet you with an 8.5. I agree with everything that you're saying. I think that from a technical standpoint, it's pretty fucking flawless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her voice sounds good. It's clear.
Yeah.
Like it's.
That's the other thing. Is her voice isn't washed out at any point.
No. So I think I'm gonna go an 8.5 on it.
I'll go an 8.5 too. Musically, some of it, like the more complex sounding things are mostly synth and
it's not an explorative album in any sense, and I mean, you don't really want that from a pop album anyways. I do find it interesting that they literally cited directly where they're taking inspiration from. I wanted this song to sound like a Timbaland song. I wanted this sound to sound like a early 2000s hit. Like they executed it the way they wanted it to, but they're not doing anything different or doing anything new.
Yeah.
Like that, the Greedy beat sounds like a beat that you would hear in 2007.
Yeah.
It's not. That's what they wanted. That's the sound they wanted for it, and they got it.
Yeah, and I do think you can tell there are songs with very simple musical elements to them that are layered in a way. Again, this goes back to technical, where it's layered in a way that it sounds more complex and it sounds more interesting.
Yep.
Calgary's a good example of that.
Yep.
The guitar in that is very simple, I could not do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
But it's not so much an album for the music. It's an album for the vibe.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably more what they were shooting for, things to people to dance to, people to get songs that are going to get radio play.
Things that can be sound bit on TikTok, you know?
Yep, non-offensive, things that have worked in the past.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to go crazy high on it. I'm not going to go crazy low on it either. I think it's a 7, in my opinion.
I was going to go 6.5.
There you go.
All right, so 6.75 between the two. That's a 7.6. Mm-hmm. All right. Lyrically.
We've kind of touched on it. It's not breaking any boundaries. I mean, like, it's tough to rate this one because you're looking at it like what they wanted to do and what they achieved. They wanted to make a big pop album. They've achieved that.
Yeah.
But the lyrics aren't anything to write home about.
Well, and it's also difficult because a lot of the times when we're discussing this, a lot of the artists that we cover are, they're singer-songwriters who the lyrics are some of the most important elements of the music.
I don't.
I'm not saying this to rag on Tate McRae or pop stars in general, but it's like that's not what they're going for. It's not important. Does it rhyme?
Yes.
That's literally all that matters. It doesn't have to have any substance or meaning.
No, it's for me. I was feeling like a 4.
I would
like a 4 to a 5.
Calgary bumped it up to a 5 to me.
I'll go 4.5.
All right, so 4.75. Okay, I think we're at a 7 right now.
Yeah.
Album art, we've already talked about it.
It's like a 3.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I would say probably even lower. I'd go at 2.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one that anybody remembers, and that's the other thing that's like difficult about this is it's not like people give a fuck about album art when it comes to pop stars, that's not what they're like. They're not going for.
But it is nice when the entire concept of the album all the way through the art is thought through to a point where it's because we've talked about some of the best albums of all time, the best album arts of all time are often pop albums.
Yeah.
When we look at Thriller, we look at Purple Rain, like all these iconic. Those are pop albums, R&B pop albums, popular music, but it was all thought through and impactful. Whether the music made it, the album art legendary, or the album art itself.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little more thought through, but that's just my opinion.
All right, so 2.5.
Yes, 2.5.
So then the whole rating, I think we're at a 5.5 now, or a 5.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Reception. Well, it was pretty much received the way that we're receiving it in terms of like from a critical standpoint, from a commercial standpoint, it's fucking blowing everything through the roof though.
Yeah, I think you gotta. I would meet it at like a 6.5 or 6.
I'd probably go. I'm gonna go. Okay, the Metacritic was a 70, but they aren't accounting for the commercial success of it. And the virality of it and everything else that goes along with that. So I'd probably go an 8 on reception just because of the commercial success.
Yeah, well, I'll probably bump mine up a little bit then because that's a fair point. I'll go with 7 on it.
A 7?
Yeah.
All right, 7, and then 7.5, and then I think we're at a.
We're somewhere around a 6.
Yeah, we're at like a 5.6 or 5.75. I think.
Okay, that's good enough.
Does it hold up? Well, we're not really. I mean, this is a weird one on this.
Will it hold up?
Will it hold up?
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
Because I mean, this is something that I mean, we both brought it up.
Is it a flash? Like, would like to say 15 years down the road, you're listening to like a Virgin Radio or like an amp or whoever. And you know how sometimes
Oldies Friday night.
You know how sometimes
they
mix in like an older song into their newest hits. Like would like to say like Greedy or X's be one that comes up? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that's one that's gonna get a replay.
I honestly like I have to say like my three favorite tracks on this album are Run to the Hills, Stay Done, and Calgary. I don't think that any of those are ever getting radio play.
No.
And those, but I think that those are ones that are going to have slightly more longevity. I like that we were playing footsies
we just
there.
touched those.
It made me a little hard. I'm not going to lie.
Good. Yeah.
It poked through the turtle shell.
There you go.
Anyways.
Dana Carvey. little throwback to last episode.
Turtle.
Anyways, yeah, I don't think down the line any of the big hits off of this is gonna get the same radio play. That every once in a while you hear a song and like, oh shit, yeah, like
Yeah.
I
mean, I was gonna say to me it kind of feels like okay, if we were looking at this, we were gonna compare it to another pop artist from our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were looking at longevity wise, a Taylor Swift, right? Her second album, how many fucking songs get airplay from her second album if she didn't do Taylor's version?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think Taylor's a tough comparison because she's so freaking massive.
It is a tough comparison,
yeah,
but it's also, if we're talking about longevity, like how many people have hit that fucking level and then had it maintain?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people that'll hit that level and then they're a feature on a fucking song 5 years from now.
Yeah, like it's it's tough to say. I mean, I don't know if those will get the replay of like a you'll hear like a Katy Perry Teenage Dream on the radio still. You'll hear, big songs like that it might just this one, not saying that she's going to be a flash in the pan, but the hits off of this one might just be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, I definitely could agree with that. I would also say I think that like You Broke Me First probably will have the replayability.
that one's still gets played, and it's been 3 years, 4 years, right?
Yeah. But I think that a part of that is because like she that blew her up.
Yeah.
Whereas these are blowing up because of her.
Yes.
Which I think is what makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. So yeah, it's up. It's yet to be seen, but in my opinion, I don't think these ones will be the ones that are the long-lasting hits from her career. But
I do want to mention one thing. The day that I was in LA, that I went to the Doohickey show, it was her album release party, and I was like that close to buying tickets.
Oh,
I was like, might go do that, and then I was like, I want to go hang out with the Doohickeys.
You didn't get invited? I thought you would have got invited. You guys were in that article together.
Yeah, as a fellow breakout star of 2020, according to the Calgary Herald, I felt like I should be on the list.
Yeah. Well,
I felt like I shouldn't have to buy a ticket.
You know what? At least it wasn't the Calgary Sun, so that's a win.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's a win,
dude. I can't wait for Okay, I should clarify that I am joking about all of that shit.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's going to be some 12-year-old Tate McRae fan that's going to listen to this just because her name's in the title. and I just don't want to deal with the backlash from a kid, dude.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't like it when kids get mad.
Wait till you have children.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know. Anyways. At least you can hit your own. If you do it right.
So what was our final rating? What, like a 5, like a 6? I think we were at around a 6.
Yeah, we'll fucking round it up to a 6.
I think that's a fair.
6 out of 10.
I think a 5.75 to a 6 is a fair.
Yeah, I think that's a fair rating.
Yeah, overall, it's a listen.
It's a listen. I think that it's an album that I would recommend to people if they wanted to listen to a pop album that's new.
Yeah. I think it's just dangerously mid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the overall.
Dangerously mid should be the name of her next album.
Anyways, that was fun. It's good to be back.
Fun.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
You got any things to plug or things you're doing?
Oh God, no. I don't have any dates right now.
Yep.
I had actually a bunch of dates cancel right before the new year.
I'm sorry to hear it.
Yeah, it was a bummer week, Christmas week, because I lost the 4 gigs that I had lined up. And none of them were I'm not blaming the producers, I'm not blaming the venues, and I'm not blaming I had nothing to do with this, but it was like producers and venues just not they weren't making money on events that they were doing before, so they just canceled their comedy nights.
It's
right?
because their year end came in and they're like, well, we got to cut something.
That's exactly it. And so it was kind of a bummer because I was planning my tour around that. And so I was trying to link up dates around those because I was like, okay, if I'm going to go to fucking Fort McMurray, I might as well go to Edmonton along the way. Or if I'm going here, I might as well go here along the way. So I was trying to build dates around it so that I wouldn't have any loss on my own gigs that I was organizing, and I would still be guaranteed to make money those weekends. I'm getting a few dates lined up right now, but I haven't announced anything because I want to wait until I've got a lot of stuff lined up to, announce stuff. I don't want to just start smattering it in.
Yeah.
But honestly, like since getting back from LA, I haven't even done stand up in that time. Which is weird because it's the longest time I've went without performing since the pandemic.
That's okay. It's kind of nice to have a bit of a reset and a bit of a break, especially if you're planning on hitting it head first, full charge.
Dude, I will go full head on it.
I bet you will.
That's going to be the name of my tour.
Grant.
Spencer Streichert, full head.
Spencer Streichert, Grant. The taste of Grant.
The taste of Grant is still on my lips. Grant Booten.
Thanks for listening,
the producer.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
That's a callback to the first part of the album review.
I remember.
All right. Well, cheers for listening. Oh, one thing that
yes.
We will have some guests coming up.
Yes,
in the next few episodes.
Great.
All right. Anal contusions.